Are Amazon drones any good? You're going to find out in today's Drone Truths video.
Hey guys, I'm Rebecca. You have a chance to win this DJI FPV drone, the case, and 2 batteries. We're gonna choose one of the next 100,000 subscribers to be our lucky winner. So please subscribe, good luck, and happy FPV.
Welcome back, you 180,000 subscribers looking for drone truths. You're going to find them on this channel. We're going to talk about the truth today about Hollystone's HS720. It is a foldable, brushless, EIS stabilized 4K drone with around a 26-minute flight time. It has real-time app support with Wi-Fi on board, 5G Wi-Fi. It's running off a 2.4 gigahertz transmitter. It has a 2S2800 battery in here, and I got 2 of those batteries today. I'm going to show you what it looks like in the app. I'm going to show you the onboard footage, which is it's not so great, but we're going to talk about that coming up in the video for another drone truth. And I'm going to show you how to make decent video on top of this drone. If you want to slap a camera on there, I'm going to do the suggested Flywoo GP9 that I'm going to fly today. It is a D-Case GoPro with hyperflow stabilization. So I'm going to show you all of the drone truth today in this review, and let's go ahead and get started and flying this one. But it does come with a nice case, extra props, a screwdriver, this 2S battery, and it does come with a controller that I've talked about before. I've seen this on other drones. It has sort of what we call bubble style gimbals. I'm not a huge fan of these guys. They feel a little bit robotic on the controls, and as a matter of fact, on my first few flights, the yaw wasn't working at all. So after a handful of flights, I finally got the yaws to start working, and I was able to go ahead and start my flight test, but that was pretty scary. So you're already learning some drone truths in this video before we even get started. So let's go ahead out now to the field and fly the HS720 from Hollystone and give you some real world drone truths. Here we go. Okay guys, here we are at the field. I've calibrated the compass, and now we can go ahead and do our first takeoff with the HS720. Looks pretty good from the first takeoff. Now I haven't explored the controls or the app yet, and this is my first actual flight. This is the camera on board. It looks okay, a little bit of extra yellows in there, but it has a pretty nice stable hover with the optical flow. So after a few minutes and I got some altitude, I realized the yaw is not working. Does forward work? Let's find out. It looks like that's working, and it looks like the throttle up and down is working, but I'm gonna have to come back and land because I still have no yaw control. So that's a problem. I'm gonna have to set this thing down and figure out what the hell is going on. So I'm gonna do a reset in the app, and I'm gonna launch again, this time with the Flywoo GP9 on board. Let's check out the Ophelia GO app up at the top right hand corner. The feed and the transmission of the 5.8G Wi-Fi on board looks, pretty real time. It's actually better than some of the other MJX RC quads that I've flown in the past. And we have also the HS720 cam on board, and again, it has a little bit of a yellow tint. You could probably fix that in your video editor, but my favorite camera today was my Flywoo GP9 onboard mod. So this just is strapped on there with a little bit of VHB on the front, and the battery's in the very back of the drone, so I'm able to balance it out and not cover up the GPS. And now I'm up there, you guys. I'm exploring for you. We're trying to see how this handles now that the yaw is working. And I feel like from the ground, flying at line of sight is actually pretty fun. And it slows down pretty slow in the slow mode. I happen to like the high speed mode. It does have 2 speed modes, slow and high. For cinematic shots, if you want to get a nice straight ahead shot with that HS720 cam down to your SD card, that's where you're going to get the nicest shots, just in that slowest low mode, coming pretty close over the top of that soccer goal right there. Really enjoying flying it up close and watching the flybys. If you're a brand new drone pilot, this is a lot of fun to learn how to fly at line of sight first. I always tell people, start out line of sight, and then if you get out there and you can't rely on your Go app, you can hit return to home, or you can try to fly it back manually. Sometimes I'll fly a drone out and get it confused in my line of sight direction and figure out how, by the yaw, once it's headed back. And you know, sometimes it takes a little bit of practice to do that. It's a great skill to learn, not relying on return to home. So at this point, I feel like it's flying pretty good. I don't trust it 100% yet, but man, that GP9 footage is looking beautiful. And in this footage, we have no props in view. So if you stand the camera up off the top of this HS720 drone, you can actually get some prop-free footage. Having that camera so low in this design puts the props right up front in your cam, and probably also adds some vibration in your video. I'd say there's not a lot of jello on the onboard cam, which is pretty good news, but still, a lot of you guys, if you're going to do cinema stuff, you probably don't want props in view. But I have to say, this is kind of a classification of toy drone. It's kind of a drone to play around with. $250 is not really going to get you historically something that you're going to bring home footage like what you see in the full screen here with the GP9. So I wanted to play around with the follow me mode on here because that's the mode that most of you guys use. I'm scared to use the orbit mode right here because it's pretty tight and I feel like it's going to end up hitting the tree. So we're not going to test that today, but we are going to test out the follow me. So I'm going to walk out to the middle of the field here and see if I can get this thing to track the phone. It does work from the phone. So it tracks the GPS in your phone and it triangulates in real time, and right now it appears to be working. So I'm pretty happy about that. It's kind of turning and following me. You can see in the app it is working. Now I think the other good honest opinion about this drone is that the takeoff is good, the line of sight flying is good, the GPS is finally working good, the high and low is working good, you have headless mode, and I have to say the transmission on here is really good. So I didn't lose or have any app drop. The app didn't crash on me and it didn't lag. So that's really good news. Most of the modes on here work and the transmission works. So I'm super happy about that for a cheaper sort of toy drone category. And right at the end of my flight, it started doing this weird like dropping thing to the ground. It might have been the optical flow. Maybe the onboard computer was trying to land itself, but when you can see, I come over here and turn around and just get a dip right there to the ground. And I'm not 100% sure what that was all about, because when I did land the drone after this first flight test on this first battery, I still had 3 LEDs in the very back of the drone. So apparently I still had about 75% battery left. I think the other positive thing about this one, if you get the 2 battery combo, you're gonna have a lot of flight time. And as long as your yaw works, it seems like you'll have a good time with this drone. It's pretty smooth flying, and it seems fairly reliable on the video transmission. So that's the 2 things that I really like about this drone. If I give it some positives, great transmission, back to the phone, working on my iPhone, really nice. All the controls work great, and it's less robotic feeling than some of the MJX RC controllers with those kind of bubble style sticks. I'm not a big fan of those, I gotta tell you guys. It's the honest truth, drone truth on the channel. And I'm not sure what these dips are all about. And I'm not really a huge fan of the onboard camera. I think the onboard camera and the image sensor could be better. It's a lot of yellow in it. It is a super bright day, but it does have no polarizer on there. And again, I'm gonna stick with my Flywheel GP9 because that's the camera that you should get. If you have any toy drone in the world, slap one of these on there and you'll come home with some decent footage that looks like stabilized mechanical gimbal style video. So I got results with the GP9. I'm pretty happy with that, but you can check out the link down below for this HS720. If you guys want to pick one up and you enjoyed the drone truths, please do that. I don't get any kickback on that. Pick up a Flywheel GP9 and use my code on there. It's BG Davis 2022. That one still works. And come back to the channel again, guys, for more drone truths right here on Drone Camps RC. I'm Justin Davis, guys. Take care. I'll see you on the next review.